So new for you this afternoon, Mayor Brown is defending both that decision to remove protesters and his police reforms, while some question whether he put them forward in good faith. I'm sorting through the back and forth for you between the city of Buffalo and those who are demanding change.
These were people in Niagara Square who were not peaceful. I don't want to make any mistake about it.
Mayor Byron Brown is doubling down on the city's decision to arrest 13 protesters in Niagara Square the day his new police reforms were set to take effect. Reforms that would have prevented the 13 from being detained.
Those individuals, the 13 that were arrested, posed a threat to the community through their own behavior, and that's why they were arrested.
All of a sudden, the night of the reform being passed, 11 protesters decided to be violent.
Brown claims the protesters were threatening visitors to the square, people going to and from work, as well as bathing in the fountain.
Just all honesty, it was a slap in the face.
Mercedes Overstreet says the mayor's claims are off base.
Positivity is being pushed and things are being done. So what would their purpose be of being like that when they were out there for weeks at a time already, being peaceful?
If folks were threatening folks, why weren't they arrested and charged for threats? What we saw was obstruction because they refused to leave. That's very different than what the mayor has spoke about.
A concern from reform groups is they say the people arrested were not actually the ones causing the problems.
The problem I'm having is when we paint the narrative that the 13 individuals who were arrested are the ones who carried out the so-called threats, right? There's no indication that those 13 folks were the ones to threaten folks, or whether it was those who were coming downtown to support in other ways that they may not have liked or endorsed.
All 13 people were charged with obstruction of governmental administration, being in a park after hours, and sleeping in the park. They were issued appearance tickets to return to court at a later date. Deanna Davis, the woman accused of running over police officers with her SUV, could be released and put on house arrest soon. Today is the last day prosecutors can get a stay on an order to release her. Davis is charged with attempted murder and assault after investigators say she drove her car through a police line during a riot earlier this month on Bailey Avenue. Right now, she's being held on $200,000 bail. If she's released, Davis will have to wear an ankle monitor. She can't contact her co-defendants or use alcohol or drugs. If prosecutors do not get a stay on that order by end of business, the feds will allow her release today. Buffalo police are investigating 2 more shootings from last night. They say a 39-year-old man is badly hurt after being shot on Donaldson Road. This happened about 7 o'clock yesterday evening. He is now being treated at the hospital. And in the Allentown neighborhood, police say a 24-year-old man was shot in the area of West Tupper and Virginia streets. This one happened about 9:15 last night. He was rushed to the hospital, where he's now listed in stable condition. Police think this was a targeted shooting, but no arrests have been made in either one. Anti-violence groups held a prayer session at MLK Park in Buffalo yesterday. They're concerned about the increase in shootings we're seeing this year. There have been almost 20 separate shootings in just the past week and a half.
This is the time where we must stand together during this COVID and this pandemic and let them know that we care about them. All the things that are happening with the rallies and the police reform, we need to let the young people know that we're standing with them, but they have to stop killing and shooting each other.
3 people have died in that recent string of shootings. New York just added 8 more states to the travel quarantine order. That means any person coming into New York State from one of these 16 now states must spend 2 weeks in quarantine. The governor's office says these are all states with high COVID numbers where the positive test rate is higher than 10 per 100,000 residents. And to reopening news now. Today, Western New York moves into phase 4 of the state's plan. Many businesses are getting the green light to open their doors to the public again. Phase 4 includes low-risk activities like zoos, museums, botanical gardens, and movie productions. It also has some guidelines for higher education classes and boosts gatherings to a 50-person limit. And phase 4 is just the last phase now. From here on out, businesses that have not reopened, like gyms, like gyms. I need to exercise. Gyms still have not reopened. Malls haven't opened either. They're all going to get some individual guidelines for reopening. Governor Cuomo said malls can't open unless they have a certain type of filter for the air conditioning. That filter would help limit the spread of any virus in the air. Some stores, though, are frustrated they can't open while other big box stores can.
It doesn't make any sense to me we could be open in Elma and these malls at 50% with all the items they added to the malls, and they're talking about the air and all that. That's crazy to me because these other stores have been open.
We did reach out to the Walden Galleria to see whether they have that specific filter that they need. All they said was there is a, quote, increased air circulation and filtration in the center. The Buffalo and Erie County Botanical Gardens is getting ready to open for business. 7 Eyewitness News reporter Jeff Slauson shows us what the new normal will look like once their doors can reopen.
Such a beautiful place, and we're so happy to be able to share it with our community.
Buffalo Botanical Gardens in full bloom as they're ready to see visitors for the first time in months.
All the necessary precautions to keep everyone as safe as possible.
That starts with online ticketing and a lot of cleaning.
We are providing a one-way path through the gardens, lots of cleaning. We have upped our game in that regard. We have installed hand sanitizing stations throughout the gardens. We are ready to go.
The gardens also want to cater to those who don't feel comfortable visiting in person. They're doing that with online classes available on their website.
We have tons of online programming going on. There are all kinds of new classes for adults, for kids. We have virtual tours. If you're not comfortable visiting quite yet, that's okay. We have tons of videos on our website that you can sit home, relax, have a glass of wine, a cup of coffee, and go through the gardens at your leisure.
Members will be allowed through the doors on July 8th, and then everyone else will be allowed July 15th. You are strongly encouraged to get your tickets online so you know you can actually come into the Botanical Gardens before you arrive. In Buffalo, Jeff Slauson, 7 Eyewitness News.
Jeff, thank you. The IRS is not extending the tax deadline. The 2019 tax filing and payment deadline is coming up July 15th. It was postponed by April 15th because of the coronavirus pandemic. For people who cannot meet the deadline, they can file for an extension of the extension to October 15th on the IRS website. And there's some sad news today. Longtime comedy legend Carl Reiner has died. Reiner was a writer, actor, director, and producer. He rose to comedy's front ranks as creator of The Dick Van Dyke Show. His assistant says he died last night of natural causes in his Beverly Hills home. He was 98 years old. Still to come on 7 Eyewitness News at noon, we have a new update on the future of development at the old Bethlehem steel site.
And June is ending on a rather warm note, but there's going to be a sizzle at the end of the 7-day of the forecast.
We have just a way to get out of the dinner time rut. It's quick, easy, and boy, is it ever tasty.
You are watching 7 Eyewitness News at noon with Madison Carter and 7 First Alert meteorologist Autumn Lewandowski.
The operator of a popular cafe chain in Buffalo has settled charges on claims it violated federal labor laws by preventing workers from unionizing. The National Labor Relations Board began investigating Perks Cafe on Elmwood back in April. The group says it found enough evidence to prosecute Perks. Earlier this month, cafe managers told workers on Elmwood it was closing, but then it was just announced they'll be pausing operations. 2 other locations shut down in April because of the pandemic.
We think Buffalo is a place where union busting should be opposed at whatever level it takes place. And so today we are here to stand in solidarity with the Perks workers and with their organization, Workers United.
In order to settle the charges, Perks must now follow several new guidelines, including not threatening employees who wish to bargain over wages or vote to unionize. In Western New York development, you're getting a better picture of what the future of the former Bethlehem steel site could look like. And right now, you can weigh in on the plan. The Economic Development Corporation for Erie County says on the northern end of the site, they're looking to build a net zero facility. That would be completely energy efficient, produce its own solar power. It could power a manufacturing plant in the building. They're working on plans to extend the bike trails along Route 5 all the way to Woodlawn State Park. Neighbors in Lackawanna say they are excited for the future of the site.
This is long overdue, and I'm so grateful that this administration, Republican and Democrat alike, are making this a priority. This is an eyesore site, and I remember as a kid driving past it with my family, thinking, "What are we going to do with this land?" I'm grateful that it's being considered for redevelopment.
And developers are now working on a draft general environmental impact statement. They'll be gathering written comments on the plan until next Thursday, July 9th. We will send things right over to meteorologist Michelle McLeod tracking this beautiful week we're having here.
Absolutely beautiful. In fact, we're ending the month of June on a rather warm note. I mean, look at the sky behind us. These little puffy clouds make me think of The Simpsons. And your temperatures, we're in the upper 70s. Now, as always, in Southern Tier, we'll call it, 69 in Wellsville, but we'll call it low 70s. And then as you head towards Lake Ontario, upper 70s to 80 already in Middleport. Going with the wide view, we continue to be nice and dry and quiet because that Omega block is still in place, as you can see here. However, it looks like it's going to deteriorate into the end of the week, which will have some implications for your holiday weekend. Now, of course, models still haven't been in agreement yet, but it's something that I want to give you a little privy to. And I'll show you those implications in the 7 days. Switching gears to the temperature department, like I was saying yesterday, it's going to be hot next week. In fact, the National Weather Service just put us in a moderate risk of excessive heat for next week. What does that even mean, Michelle? Well, it means that heat and humidity make conditions right for heat-related illnesses. So you're going to want to make sure you stay cool, stay hydrated, all the things that you need to stay safe and healthy. Just giving you a heads up. Now let's switch gears to the futurecast because you're going to want to know what's happening for the rest of the day and tomorrow. Well, in the evening, you'll see some of those few showers developing. As you head into the overnight, things will quiet down. Of course, we'll see some patchy fog in the valleys. Tomorrow morning, we'll be waking up to a mix of sun and clouds just like today. As you head into the afternoon again, you'll see some of those spotty showers developing, mainly south and east of Buffalo in the afternoon. They'll stick around into the evening. And then in the overnight, they'll deteriorate and things will clear up for us again. We'll have some more partly to mainly clear skies for Wednesday night. So today,